or second to last game, and one of the biggest ones we think in the non-conference, because SMU does not need to lose this game. Baylor really needs to win it. As we are headed over to Dallas, Texas, SMU has not beaten Baylor since 1986. These two have been going at it, I think in the early 2000s, a little bit of some meetings there this past decade, but every single meeting has gone the Waco Bears way. This game has been predicted to have a 64-point scoreline in total. That's a lot of points, and we can see that happening. Baylor had an opening season loss at home, 38-24 against Auburn, for Dave Aranda's 6th or 7th season as a head coach over there. And then SMU opened up the season against East Texas A&M with a 42-13 victory for Rhett Lashley, going into, I think, his 4th season as a head coach of the Ponies. But the big question, are the Waco Bears going to get KO'd again? They couldn't keep up with the Auburn talent as they gave up 307 rushing yards, 108 through the air when that SEC team came to town. That's the big question. Are they going to get KO'd again? A lot of people would think SMU doesn't have talent, speed, all those kind of attributes that kind of make up the difference. But you guys, it doesn't get any better with Kevin Jennings, because he's just one of the best quarterbacks, I think, in the country when he's not going up against elite opponents. And Baylor does not have an elite defense. It's just a lot of experience on that side of the ball for the Bears. But this week for him, it's going to be big. Did all right last week. He threw an interception, 260 yards, passing, nothing crazy on the ground, but he does have legs if he needs to use them. 2 passing touchdowns as well. The running game, I think, is going to be the kind of the bigger difference for SMU this season, because again, we think they have a top 10 offensive line here at your Sports Outpost in the country. You have PJ Williams at right tackle. He comes from Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. Joshua Bates, their new center, comes in from Oklahoma. Logan Parr, left guard, comes in from Texas. Savion Byrd, I think, also comes in from Oklahoma. And then the new right guard, Addison Nichols, comes in from Arkansas. So this is basically a power conference or SEC line when you really think about it. And on top of that, you have the newer running backs in the backfield. Chris Johnson Jr., he had 44 yards rushing last week. And then you had TJ Harden, who had 42. I think the true freshman McFall had around 22 yards. So that made up over 100 yards throughout that game to open up the season. But I think it's going to be the big difference, because they averaged 4.2 yards last week. If they can get anywhere near that to help Kevin Jennings move the ball down the field, not just through the air, but on the ground, complimenting him, Baylor is going to be in big trouble. But again, the Waco Bears secondary, they do have a chance in slowing down Kevin Jennings through the air in the red zone. That's where he threw that pick. Hasn't been the best in those areas. I remember there's a nice highlight of him getting one against Florida State last year, where a Seminoles defender almost picked it off, but ended up going their way. So that could be a thing where Baylor can make up the difference in stalling out a drive and preventing 7 points, or at least 3, going not their way. And then the Baylor Bears need to be better in the running game. They had 24 attempts for only 64 yards last week. Not a good outing against Auburn, again on the ground. Sawyer Robinson didn't really get involved in the running game whatsoever, even though he had 419 yards through the air. That is incredible to have that stat line and still lose by 14 points. Yeah, he's going to definitely go off, but is he going to go off when it matters? I do like Michael Trigg, who is their tight end. He had 7 receptions for 99 yards and got himself a receiving touchdown. He's kind of been that like nice safety blanket, big target. Is he going to be making the difference up in red zone drives? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe SMU is going to be really ready for him in that scenario. But Sawyer Robinson just needs to not have 3 and outs. He'll have a big play or two, but he also needs to play it safe and not causing turnovers, because SMU likes him a turnover or two. Here at Shore Sports Outpost, the score difference, we're going to go in favor of SMU. Another big one that's versus the spread. It's -2.5 in favor for the Ponies. We think SMU is going to win by 13 points. Very similar to what Auburn had, as we think they're more talented, more fast, just better at playing the game of football. And it's very hard to stop Kevin Jennings. Even through the passing game, if you do that, he can still hurt you on the run. And that's what he did to Louisville. That's exactly what he did to Louisville. He had a big 50-yard touchdown run, and then kept on exploiting Louisville through the ground. And I think one thing he's going to pay attention to in that film from last week with Jackson Arnold against Baylor is that Arnold just took off when he found that the defense in coverage wasn't respecting his legs. And if Kevin Jennings picked up on anything like that, that's just going to be a bad time for Baylor, and why we think SMU is going to win by 13 points. Romello Brinson, I think is going to also be key this upcoming weekend, even though he has Hudson coming back from last season. Brinson had 7 receptions for 121 yards, 1 reception touchdown. He will be somewhat of a factor in Kevin Jennings moving the ball down the field through the air, and why we think SMU wins again by 13 points. As we zoom out.